Hi, I'm Hannah, and welcome to the Creative Empath Meditation Series. Tonight, we're going to talk about finding your creative flow as a way to cope with trauma symptoms or any kind of emotional dysregulation you may feel. That could be anxiety, mood mood instability, or depression, or anything else that you might experience in this human world. So let's begin with a little bit of a deep breathing exercise. So setting your feet firmly on the ground, the hands can be resting gently on the knees, eyes can be softly closed, or maybe the eyes stay open and gently gaze down in order to facilitate more here and now awareness. We'll begin with a 3-part breath. So as you inhale, notice your belly expand, then the rib cage expands, and then the chest lifts up. And then as you exhale, it's the opposite. So the chest goes down, rib cage constricts, belly constricts. And we're gonna take 5 deep breaths together, and I will keep count. So you can let yourself drop into the here and now as you inhale, exhale. Relax the jaw, relax the chin. Inhale. Exhale, roll the shoulders downwards. Inhale. Navel, rib cage, chest. Exhale, chest, rib cage. Navel draws in. Inhale. Release tension between the brows. Exhale. Nice and smooth. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Let it all out. Beautiful. So tonight we're talking about finding your flow. And we're talking specifically about your creative energy. So creative energy is something that we all have, whether we consider ourselves to be artists or not. Creative energy is what makes us adaptable and flexible as human beings. So I want to ask you to tune into that right now. And maybe you give it a cue word. If you don't like creative energy, maybe you choose a different word like strength, resilience, flexibility, or you can call it creativity, whatever you like. I just want to ask you to tune in to that energy within your body. If it had a home in your body, where would it live? Would it live in your mind? Would it live in your heart? Would it live somewhere else? Take a moment to scan your body now, looking for that energy of creativity. Notice how you might use your creativity during the day. Maybe you use your creative energy at work. Maybe some people use their creative energy to make funny jokes with their coworkers. That's a creative activity. Other people might use their creativity to manage processes or employees at work by finding innovative solutions in your job. If you are a parent, maybe you use your creative energy to find activities or things for your children to do or learn. Or maybe you use your creative energy to choose your parenting strategies. What are some other ways in which you use your creative energy, maybe without even realizing? Now let's focus on honing our creative energy into something that is positive and productive and helps us to soothe our mind and body systems. So when you're feeling upregulated, like if you're feeling anxious, we can use our creativity to draw inward and downward. We can use our creativity to consciously bring ourselves down and ground our energy system. We can do that by practicing mindfulness exercises like deep breathing, yoga, Tai Chi, or maybe we do something artistic. Perhaps we draw what we're experiencing. For example, one exercise or activity you can draw with both hands and scribble out that anxious energy on 2 pieces of paper. And notice how that feels to just like use that energy to put it outside of yourself onto a page. So let's just imagine doing that in our mind's eye. Just imagine coloring, scribbling out all that anxious energy. What colors would you use? What shapes would you make? How fast or slow would you go? How full would the page get? Just imagining. There's no right or wrong here, just imagining. And once you're finished with that, you can take a deep breath. And we'll transition to imagining upregulating our nervous system from a numb state or depressive state. So sometimes we become dissociated and numb and we feel kind of flat in our affect. So something that we can do to draw our energy upward, is to invite our breath and move like water, right? We don't have to move as fast as we did with the anxiety exercise, but we're kind of moving with a flow, rhythmic movement, and pairing that with a breath. So again, we can try, if you'd like, you can imagine the drawing with both hands, but this time imagine drawing ocean waves, slow and rhythmic, adding the breath. Now you can add to that, so we can use our 5 senses to be creative and expressive. So adding to that, we could create some kind of audio sound with our voice, with our vocal cords. So something that matches that desire to move energy upward, um, and that slow rhythmic ocean wave. And I feel like the depressive energy wants to start in a low place and then kind of move up the scale. So no judgment here. Just give this a try. See what you think. So Pairing the breath, the ocean waves, and a little sound. So we'll start with down low with a little ooh, and then we'll move up the scale. So ooh. Try that again. Ooh. So it's a little weird, but again, don't judge it. Just kind of notice how it feels energetically in your body. Other things you can try is just gentle movements to feel tactile feedback. If you're feeling dissociated, just kind of wiggling the fingers and noticing the interoception of the feeling of your body feeling. I like that. So feeling, maybe you start with the fingertips, and then maybe you start to touch your legs. Maybe you pat down your legs and then back up. And then maybe you pat across your hands, just gently, maybe patting on the face and pairing it with a breath. And then you can just create a combination. Remember, we're being creative and non-judgmental, open to new experiences, and curious. Just noticing how this might change your mood state, how this might alter like your perception of what you're thinking and feeling just as you do these simple, subtle movements. Then coming back to center, let's take a moment to just self-reflect, pause, and notice what worked for you. Notice your energy now. Let's just take 3 deep breaths together to seal our meditation for tonight. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, exhale. I encourage you to take a moment in your art reflection journal and take a note of what you liked, what worked, how you felt, and what you want to try again at some point. So let's seal our meditation class, if you'd like, with the beautiful sound of Om. Inhaling, Om. Namaste. My inner light bows and honors your inner light, and we are all one. Have a good evening.